My name is Arthur Whitfield. I am 67 years old. I live alone in a small flat in Manchester. My wife passed away 6 years ago. I have only one son. His name is Nathan. Nathan moved to Australia many years ago. Now he lives there with his wife and 2 children. He has a good life, a large house, a successful career. He is happy, from what I can tell. But I live here alone. Every morning, I wake up early. I make my own breakfast. I take my medicine carefully, one pill at a time, laid out the night before on a small tray by my bed. In the evening, I sit in my chair by the window. Nobody comes to see me. Nathan does not call often. Sometimes he sends money. Sometimes he says, "Dad, I will visit soon." But he never does. Still, I wait for him. I love him very much. He's my son. I keep his old photographs in a frame on my nightstand. I look at them every single day, especially the one from his university graduation, when he still called me every week. One afternoon, there was a knock on my door. I opened it slowly, using my walking stick for balance. It was Nathan. I was completely stunned. "Nathan," I said, "you really came?" He smiled. He looked well, successful, the way he always looked in the photographs he sent from Australia. I hugged him, my eyes filling with tears I could not quite hold back. He came inside. I made tea, my hands shaking slightly with the effort, though I did not let him see how much effort it actually took these days. We sat together, and I asked about Emma, his wife, and the children. "They are all doing well," he said. Then I asked why he had come, after so many years of silence. "I missed you, Dad," he said. "You live here all alone. I worry about you constantly." I was quiet for a moment, letting the warmth of his words settle over me. He looked at me carefully. "You're getting older. It is not safe for you here, living by yourself. I want you to come live with us in Australia." I sat back slowly in my chair. "But this is my home," I said. "I was born in this city. Your mother and I built our whole life here. I do not think I can leave it." Nathan's expression grew more serious. "This flat is old, Dad. It is not suitable for someone your age anymore. In Australia, you would have everything. Your own room. You could see the grandchildren every single day. Emma wants you to come too." That night, after he left to stay at a hotel nearby, I sat alone in my chair and thought carefully about everything he had said. I did not want to leave the home your mother and I had shared for 40 years. But Nathan was my only son. The next morning, he returned with a proposal. "Dad, we should sell the flat. You do not need it anymore. You will live with us permanently now. We can use the money to help set you up comfortably in Australia." I looked at him for a long moment. He smiled warmly, the same smile he had as a boy. I thought perhaps he truly did love me, and this was simply his way of showing it. "Yes," I said. "Let's do it." I sold the flat. Nathan handled all the paperwork, all the money. I packed one suitcase, mostly photographs and a few of my late wife's belongings I could not bear to leave behind. We drove to the airport together. I felt sad, leaving behind everything familiar, but also strangely hopeful. I told myself I would finally be close to my son again, close to my grandchildren, close to a family that needed me. At the airport, as we approached the security gate, Nathan turned to me. "Dad, wait here for a moment," he said. "I'll go and get you a wheelchair. The walk to the gate is quite long, and I don't want you tiring yourself out unnecessarily." "All right," I said, settling into a nearby seat. 10 minutes passed. I assumed the queue for wheelchair assistance was simply long. 30 minutes passed. I began to feel a small flicker of unease, though I quickly dismissed it. I told myself, firmly, that Nathan would not simply leave me. He was my son. 45 minutes passed. I scanned every face moving through the terminal, searching for him among the crowds. An hour passed. My heart began to beat unsteadily in my chest. That was when a security officer noticed me sitting alone, my single suitcase beside me, my eyes fixed anxiously on the entrance. He approached gently. "Sir, are you waiting for someone?" "Yes," I said. "My son. He went to fetch a wheelchair. We're traveling to Australia together." "Do you have a photograph of him?" the officer asked. I retrieved Nathan's photograph from my jacket pocket, along with my ticket, my hands trembling slightly as I held them out. The officer studied both carefully, his expression unreadable. "Please wait here, sir. I will check inside." "Thank you," I said, and I waited, my hopes still stubbornly intact. After what felt like a very long while, the officer returned. His face had changed. It was heavier now, more careful. He sat down beside me. "Sir," he said softly, "I am very sorry. Your son boarded his flight already. It has departed. He did not collect a wheelchair. He went through alone." I sat completely still. "No," I said quietly. "That cannot be right. My son loves me. He said he would take me with him." "I confirmed it myself," the officer said gently. He presented his passport. He boarded alone. I felt something inside my chest give way, quietly, like a small structure finally collapsing under weight it had carried for far too long. Tears filled my eyes. The officer's own eyes seemed to soften with something close to sorrow. "Some people," he said quietly, "forget where their hearts belong. I am truly sorry, sir." "My name is Arthur," I whispered, almost without meaning to. "My name is Daniel Foster," the officer said. "I work security here at the airport." He paused. "You remind me, quite strongly, of my own father. He passed away 4 years ago. Looking at you, sitting here, I find myself thinking of him constantly." He continued gently, "Please, you cannot simply stay here in the terminal. You will make yourself unwell. Come with me. My sister Claire is a nurse. She lives close by. She will look after you properly tonight, and we can sort out what comes next in the morning." "I do not wish to be a burden," I said quietly. He smiled kindly. "It is not a burden, sir. It is simply the right thing to do. You remind me too much of someone I love to leave you sitting alone in an airport." Daniel called his sister from the car. "I found an elderly gentleman at the airport," he said into the phone. "His son left him behind. He has nowhere to go tonight. Can he stay with us?" I could hear a woman's voice on the other end, warm and immediate. "Of course. Bring him straight here." That night, I stayed in Claire's small, comfortable home. She was indeed a nurse, and she moved through her house with the same brisk, gentle competence I imagined she carried into every hospital shift. She prepared a simple meal for me, checked my blood pressure without being asked, and spoke to me with a warmth I had not experienced in years. I cried quietly in the guest room that night. I missed Nathan, despite everything. I missed my old flat, my old street, the small, ordinary rhythms of a life I had given up so easily. But these two strangers, Daniel and Claire, had shown me more genuine care in a single evening than I had received from my own son in the past several years combined. The next morning, Daniel received a phone call. He stepped into the hallway, speaking in a low, careful voice I could not quite make out. When he returned, I asked, "Is everything all right?" He smiled, though something in his eyes seemed strained. "Yes, Arthur, everything is fine." What I did not know in that moment was this. The flight Nathan had boarded had experienced a catastrophic mechanical failure shortly after takeoff. There had been no survivors. Nathan was gone. Daniel chose not to tell me immediately. He understood, somehow, without needing to be told, that despite everything, I still loved my son deeply. That I still quietly hoped he might one day call, might one day explain, might one day come back for me properly. The days that followed moved slowly. I stayed with Daniel and Claire while they helped me navigate the difficult practicalities that eventually followed. The news, when it finally came gently from Daniel one careful evening, the arrangements, the quiet grief that settled over all three of us, though only I had truly known Nathan. Daniel handled everything with a patience I had not expected from someone I had known for less than a week. He accompanied me to appointments. He helped manage the small amount of money that remained. He treated me, in every practical way, as though I were his own father. Claire, for her part, simply continued treating me like family, without ever once making the arrangement feel temporary or conditional. Their home slowly, quietly became my home. I prayed for Nathan often in those early weeks. I prayed for his soul and for the two young grandchildren I had never properly met, now growing up on the other side of the world without their father. I prayed that no other parent would ever have to sit, as I once had, watching a departure gate that would never open again for the person they loved most. One evening, several months later, Daniel asked me quietly, "Do you ever think about that old flat? About going back to that life?" I considered the question carefully before answering. "I already lost that flat," I said, "but I found something else here, something I did not expect to find at my age." Nathan was gone, but in his place, unexpectedly, painfully, I had found something close to the son I had always hoped to have. I feel even now a strange and complicated gratitude for the way this all unfolded. Grief and grace, somehow, sitting together in the same quiet room. I'm sharing this story with you today because I believe it says something important. Kindness, real kindness, often arrives from the most unexpected places, precisely when we need it most. And sometimes the family we are given is not the family we ultimately keep. What would you have done in my place, sitting alone in that airport terminal? Tell me in the comments below. If this story touched you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness still exists, and subscribe to simply listen for more stories like this every week.